Hello everyone, welcome back to Spar&Brawl. Hope you're having a good day. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam, and today we just wanted to have a little bit of fun with this Washington Post article that actually Katie Halper did two shows, I think, on it, pretty much, or at least mentioned it with two hosts of guests. But yeah, Sam, this article is ridiculous in a few ways, right? I mean, I'll tell you what pissed me off the most is that it reads like some kind of fictional press release about like the Biden stimulus package. So I mean, it's not even promotional. It doesn't even just promote it. It like overly promotes it. So from the
Uh,
headline,
you'll get into it later, but let's not forget that it does criticize it for
being
being
too nice.
too generous and all that. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily just, like a promotional material. It's promoting a certain, yeah, wing of certain
But
ideology,
I mean,
certain
it's
wing.
it's no. But I mean, it's still like it'd be like, look, they're even doing more than you guys want. That's how generous you are. If it goes wrong, we told you guys we shouldn't be giving you any money when the economy crashes. We warned you guys. I feel like they're just covering their asses. But yeah. So the
So
headline says that Americans are being showered with money. Sure, there would have been some news clips of that if that was the case. They call his package the most generous expansions of aid. Of course, they have a little. This is what you were talking about. That they criticize it by saying economists estimate it will boost growth this year to the highest level in decades and reduce the number of Americans living in poverty by a third. However, it injects the economy with so much money that some economists from both parties are warning that growth could overheat. I mean, I don't know what this overheat thing is, though. Are you familiar with this? Do you know of an economy that overheated?
I don't know exactly what they're referring to in this case, but there is an argument sometimes that when you uh, put money inside, like you put this much money or a huge amount of money or basically too much money, you pour it into the economy, it could cause inflation to go up suddenly. It could cause corruption because, this money is going very fast through different channels and all that. So I mean, I'm guessing they're referring to different negative processes when they say overheat. They don't refer to a specific thing, but I mean, yeah,
Generically, yeah, generically, yeah, but then you have to look at the different
I think
situations.
look exactly. I would argue that one of the causes of Iranian revolution, pre-revolution, was the fact that 10 years before the revolution, there was a significant amount of money poured into the economy and it couldn't be sustained and the structural uh, systems that were there wasted a lot of that money and all that. So yeah, it depends on the case. Yeah, sure. Putting this amount of money into economy could lead to negative consequences, but it could also. I don't think U.S. is at this point. The problems they're facing is not because of too much injection of money from government.
Yeah.
I think.
And of
I mean,
course, I mean, you're
just
taking a very good faith approach to this, of course, to
sure,
the
sure, but
statement in this
I mean,
article. Yeah.
no, I'm just saying, even technically speaking, right, in this specific case, it seems the problem, like, traditionally put, is basically low demand, right? Because people don't have any money and they can't pay their mortgages, they can't pay their rents, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I don't see any, yeah, problem. I don't know. I doubt any overheating is going to occur unless they are really bad in the distribution and they go full on sort of South American style cronyism.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that probably happens all the time, but I mean, you
Well,
hear this kind of language when there's like the little stimulus package of the checks. I mean, that's the reason why all this is coming out. And then a little bit more criticism. Apparently, some businesses, I mean, literally, they say, meanwhile, some businesses, who these businesses are, what, like, I mean, a little bit of description will help. Some businesses are saying that government aid has been so generous that they're already having trouble getting unemployed workers to return to work, a problem that could be exacerbated by the legislation.
Well, I
this
mean,
this
I
common fear that there always is. Do you, do you,
it,
do you think it's that big? Do you think this could possibly be a widespread issue?
I doubt it, to be honest. Although I would say maybe I haven't looked into this. Maybe if minimum wage wasn't so low, like if let's say
I was
right now
gonna say.
if I work in the Amazon warehouse, Amazon, which by the way, Jeff Bezos owns Washington Post, right? Which maybe the business they were talking about was Amazon, but if I were, let's say I get paid $7 per hour for working there, which based on news reports and all the reports is very tough. You have to pack the content very quickly and send it off, blah blah blah. And or I can stay home and let's say on average I would get $5 per hour. I would rather stay home. So again, even if
Yeah,
that
which I
if
bet
it's
you
a
some
widespread
people, even if that was the case, they wouldn't do it because those $2 would make a big difference in someone like that in their life.
sure, or maybe they, to be honest, just want to get. People don't
Yeah,
usually don't want to stay unemployed and just stay at home.
yeah.
But even if that was a widespread issue, which I don't think it is, maybe it has to do with the low level of minimum wage and all that. Like there could
No,
be
100%.
myriad factors. And yeah, yeah, this article is it's clearly the writer has a significant bias. It's not a balanced overview of his stimulus package, um,
I mean,
which
doesn't
is
even
somewhat
try to be. Doesn't even try to be. It has all kinds of tricks
although
like put inside
I
it.
would say as they put it in Katie Halper show and other places they mentioned it. I think Kyle Kalinske mentioned it relative to what Democrats have done in the past, including post 2008 and financial crisis. It is significantly better, you know. So if you look at it through very narrow lens, it is showering them with
Mm.
money relative to what, for example, happened after financial crisis.
Yeah, interesting. There's no mention or comparison to Obama. That could have been.
Well,
They could have at least thrown that out there to support their argument. You're doing their work for them.
sure, sure. And to be honest, I was watching. There was a live watch of Biden's speech by Katie Halper, Thomas Frank, and Matt Taibbi. And Thomas Frank argued. He said that he goes through this phase every time a Democrat gets elected, that he gets hopeful and thinks that they might actually do something. So even he realized that his arguments may not, it may not come true. But that they are standing up to Amazon and they're standing up to a lot of different things, which, by the way, may change the tone of Washington Post very soon, because apparently Biden has appointed a couple of really people who are really tough on Amazon in the Treasury, so they might go after Amazon for monopolistic behavior or antitrust stuff. So Washington Post may change its views on the stimulus package soon. But besides that, Thomas Frank points out that this stimulus package is somewhat of it's a bit of a middle finger basically to Obama's years at least, because his stimulus package following 2008 crisis took much longer to negotiate, I think, and it was much more timid. And neither that one nor this one, they didn't get any Republican votes. So it was in that sense, you could say at least some people noticed the parallel, Thomas Frank, or I mean, I realize you talk about mainstream media, but
Yeah. No, interesting stuff. And also the point that you were making earlier on about the minimum wage. I mean, I honestly thought like $15 an hour was passed a few years ago. Like that had already become a thing. I mean, I think it became a thing in New York or something, but I can't believe that's not even the case.
it's hard to believe. Although I do think it's happened in a lot of
Yeah.
states, and now a lot of leftists like Pod Saves America or something. It's a very famous political podcast. They are promoting the idea that kind of like Medicare for all, sort of that we should fight this on a state level instead of national level, which is very interesting because this is like right after Democrats finally win, all three major,
Yeah.
centers of the power. Suddenly they look. Let's not do it nationally. Let's go the state
Yeah.
route. One state takes a long time. In 2 years we lose the Congress, and then we are back to good old, deadlock. So
Yeah. But I mean, and the other thing that you said about Thomas Frank, I also heard that was interesting about how Biden appointed someone who's kind of hard on Amazon. And that made me think immediately. I mean, this article is sucking up to the administration so much. Are they trying to suck up first before they think that maybe they'll have to take a harder stance? Although Matt Taibbi kind of said, "Oh, but that's just one person," um, you know,
sure, I
that
think
Biden is appointed. But yeah, I found
yeah,
that to be very interesting too.
I have a feeling Matt Taibbi in the long run is going to be right, and he's gonna change. Like he's not going to be tough on Amazon. Maybe just
Yeah,
a
yeah.
couple of, at least maybe a couple of, let's say, press, attacks or something.
Or I can see
But
that person being tough, but nothing coming out of it.
sure, maybe, yeah, nothing is structural or anything. Yeah, that's a good point. But
Yeah,
yeah, but there is I think tech giants are afraid right now because yeah, the momentum for governmental regulation is coming at them from left and right, so they're going to be very careful.
yeah. Okay, so two other things that I kind of highlighted in this article. One is that they give this example, which is quite interesting. So this is how much this family could make. So they say that a family of four who had an income of 53,000 before the pandemic and had one parent unemployed. So family of four, 50,000 income, one unemployed. They say that the whole family could receive more than 22,000 from this package, which is not nothing. And I mean, I tried to make the calculation, 1,400 times 4. I mean, 1,400 is the max you could get. So I don't know, that becomes 2,800. That's like, I don't know, that's like 6,000 from there. So I guess with the tax cuts and stuff. But that's interesting. I mean, they did take a very dramatic example, where the family of
Uh,
four, one of
yeah,
them
I
is
guess
unemployed. Not dramatic,
nuclear.
but I mean, it's a decent
Yeah.
scenario.
I would say I'm not clear on over how long and in what form. I don't know. I
Yeah.
didn't read the article, read it. I just skimmed through it, so maybe that's my bad. But I didn't get a sense that is that like for over a year or in one big
No,
payment
I
or
mean,
in
I
cash.
think it's with everything. I mean, I've read the full article. You're not going to get the answers in that way. I mean, I think it's too complicated even for that. But with the tax cuts and this support and that, all of these put together, I think, not through the money that you receive.
All
But
right, I
then
see.
I mean, apparently, and now the last thing that caught my attention, and this is by Columbia University Center on Poverty and Social Policy. So they say that the latest stimulus will reduce poverty by a third, lifting nearly 13 million Americans out of poverty, adding that Black Americans, Hispanic Americans, and poor families with children are set to benefit the most. Child poverty would be reduced by more than half, the researchers predict. I mean, this is amazing. Pretty much,
Uh,
they're
it's
solving poverty for how long? I'm not sure, but
no, no, it's to an extent it shows that how bad the situation is that such a
yeah,
relatively a small stimulus gonna has such
that's so
positive
funny how you
consequences.
say that. Because like
But
when like rich people on TV, like the billionaires and stuff, so many of them say that. You hear them say, but listen, what's $1,000 gonna do for you, or like if you're in that much shit, you should forget about it. Like, yeah, and the situation is so bad for some people.
I mean, and I like to know how they define like what's the exact definition of poverty and child poverty in this case, like somebody who lives in a household below a certain income or somebody who's
Yeah,
homeless or what,
I would
like what
assume
are
it's their
the,
poverty line income
sure,
thing.
sure,
That's what they usually do.
like but are we counting again? I have to look into it, but
Yeah, I don't know.
they're
I
all
mean,
yeah, but yeah, it's just such a shame that it seems like if they went a tiny bit further, they could have just eliminated child poverty,
yeah.
you know, you know. whole
That's
snow.
true too. But
Yeah,
that's
they
the
just
other
add
thing.
one
These things
filter.
don't cost
That
much money.
well, not as much as fucking missiles and
Yeah.
bombers, but that's how. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not as sexy or it's not as attractive to get budget for uh, to help the poor or educate people or something. But bombers and missiles and all that's cool.
No. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, I think those are like the main things that I got out of this article. And the article got a lot of, I mean, everybody made fun of it, which
It's
is
to be honest
nothing.
because the problem with the article is that it's such a this one was a very bad case. Like if you read BBC as well, BBC is very good at concealing their bias at
Hmm.
least, or at least pretending or attempting objectivism. Washington Post keeps trying to, they put this slogan of truth dies in
Yeah.
darkness. By the way, we turned off the light. So they keep pretending that they're objective, and then this one was so like as one of the Katie Halper, no, I think her co-host Jack, for I forget his family name, pointed out the number of adjectives and adverbs that are clearly expressing a view is ridiculous in a news story. Just say this is like it's not that hard. Just or at least put just a disclaimer that this is the views of the author are this is not a description of the stimulus package. Or
Man, but this
it was
was done on purpose. I mean, because you're right. Most editors, they would have seen this and they would be like, whoa, okay, remove the word generous. Okay, everything else is fine. Remove the word generous, remove the word showers. And
staggering
yeah,
is used.
exactly. And
You know,
everything, even the coronavirus pandemic, they say American families navigating the coronavirus pandemic. I mean, I have less problem with that there, but everywhere they pick these words on purpose. I mean, they always say that when you're writing, think about your word and use the right words. And here they thought about their words. You don't randomly land
no,
on
no, but,
these.
but look, the expectation when you were at least back in the days, it seems the expectation was that if you're a news reporter, you write. Some people say that this is
Mm,
showering
yeah,
with money, and some people say that no, it's not showering people with, or don't mention the second part. Just some people say, or
yeah,
say, or according to reports, or something. Not just okay, this is fucking amazing. We love
yeah,
it. Everybody loves it. We all gonna. Oh man, Joe is the man. It was just so obviously biased. At
yeah.
least if you're gonna I mean, yeah, but you're right, though. I mean, I think there was a bit of a overzealousness from this particular journalist. But
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
they're
I mean it's
serving it.
gone through a bunch of. I mean, this wasn't published. This wasn't like breaking news. Let's write something in 2 minutes. A few people have taken a look at this and been like,
Yeah,
okay,
let's go ahead with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, I don't have anything else to add. That was fun.
Um, if anybody finds out who are those businessmen who gave quotes to this interview, let us know. We are looking for them. Just to
Yeah.
want to know the details of their argument. That's all. Nothing bad.
But okay, funny stuff. So on that note, now that poverty has been cut sharply in the United States, have
Well, in the next 4 years, I assume, or decade, or whatever.
I don't know. Yeah, according to the headline,
Right.
it it already happened. But okay, all right. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.